Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today, I'm bringing you a bombshell coming from Spain, starring two names that never stop sparking conversation. Yaman and Demet Özdemir. Yes, they're back together in the headlines, but this time with words no one expected to hear so clearly. Yaman arrives in Madrid and revives a story that seemed asleep. A few weeks ago, Yaman landed in Madrid for his new project, and the scene looked like something out of a movie. Fans going crazy, cameras everywhere, screams, applause, and Spanish media already calling him the Magnetic Turk. Calm and charismatic, he moved through interviews like he was at home, until the question came. Right in the middle of a TV show, the host dropped what everyone had wanted to hear for years. What's going on with Demet Özdemir? Is she still someone special to you? Total silence in the studio. And here's the thing. Can didn't dodge it. He didn't laugh. He didn't change the subject. Instead, he got serious and answered with a calmness that shook social media. The line that set the internet on fire. More than friendship, but not love. Yaman said something like this. Demet is a unique person to him. The connection between them can't fit into a simple word. It's not just friendship, but he didn't define it as love either. He called it a special relationship, a deep bond, almost like soulmates, both professionally and personally. And with that, everything exploded. Within minutes, social media was flooded with clips, comments, and theories. Spanish press the next day ran with the idea of a shared secret between them. And in Turkey, of course, entertainment portals repeated the same question. Does this mean a new beginning? The shadow of Dreamy Bird is still alive. To understand why this hit so hard, we have to go back to the series that truly united them. Dreamy Bird. It wasn't just a romantic comedy. It was that rare chemistry you can't manufacture. The looks, the scenes, the improvised moments, an energy fans swore wasn't just acting. And what Can said in Spain made it feel like that magic never really faded. He made it clear they didn't cut contact forever, that she's still someone valuable to him, someone he feels comfortable working with, and that even though they chose different paths, the bond remained. That sentence alone is already a huge message. Why did he say it in Spain and not in Turkey? Here's where it gets interesting. Can spoke with incredible openness, but he did it far from home. Why? Why now? Why in Madrid? And that's where the theory everyone is talking about comes in. When someone calls another person a soulmate, they don't say it lightly, especially not with millions watching. The most explosive detail, the pause before answering. But wait, it wasn't only what he said, it was how he said it. Before giving that intimate definition of his relationship with Demet, Can paused briefly, and that pause felt like he was sorting through old emotions. On the show, they even commented on his reaction, and Spanish fan pages started flooding social media with messages like, "Madrid is waiting for you, Demet." And her? Absolute silence. Not a photo, not a hint, not a comment. But sometimes silence is the strongest answer. Why does this story never die? Because ever since the filming of Dreamy Bird, stories have always circulated that they laughed together even after repeating the same scene 1,000 times, that their improvisations seemed too real, that the energy between them continued even when the cameras were off. A crew member once said something years ago that was really revealing. When their eyes met, it felt like they were filming a romantic scene even without a camera. That's why soulmates doesn't sound like a nice metaphor. It sounds like something they've been carrying for a long time. So, is there love? Can didn't say love. He didn't say just friendship either. He chose something more complex, a special, strong, and unique connection. And that leaves everything open. Is it a romantic confession? A affection that never went away? A deep respect for a shared history? Or a relationship that can't be labeled? We don't know. But what we do know is this. His words in Spain reopened a chapter many believed was closed. And as long as Demet stays silent and Can keeps talking like this, the story doesn't end. It only changes shape. When I read the comments about Demet Özdemir again, one feeling becomes very clear to me. People aren't looking at her as a complete actress, but as the character each person needs to sustain their own narrative. That thread has everything. People who put her on a pedestal and dream of an inevitable romantic reunion, and others who attack her with disproportionate harshness, as if she were responsible for the rumors or as if her success were annoying on its own. I see a double injustice there. Because Demet is turned either into the heroine of an eternal love story with Khan Yaman or into the convenient villain blamed for every frustrated fantasy. And neither of those caricatures feels real to me. What interests me more is starting from what's obvious. Demet is a woman who has built a strong career through work, not gossip. Some comments defend her by recalling awards, recent series, international recognition, and even if they sometimes exaggerate out of passion, the core makes sense. She has her own solid trajectory that doesn't depend on Can or any media pairing. I see it this way. Demet didn't hang on to a single success or a single TV chemistry. She kept moving, changing registers, taking on new roles, and that isn't sustained by a marketing operation. It's sustained by discipline and talent. If her name carries weight today, it's because of years of consistency, not because someone pushes her from outside. That's why I'm uncomfortable when people talk about her as if her life had to continue the script she once played. Comments like, "I hope it's true. They should have the courage to confess their love. They're meant to be forever." Sound sweet, but they also show how much the public projects desires onto her. I don't criticize those who dream because I understand where it comes from. The screen was very convincing. But I do think that for Demet, that projection can be suffocating. An actress is allowed to have chemistry with someone, but then she's expected to turn it into a personal destiny. And if she doesn't, she becomes suspicious, cold, or calculating. It's a horrible trap, and it falls more heavily on her than on him, because women are judged with a moral magnifying glass that's always harsher. At the other extreme are angry comments claiming it's all fake, that she pays bloggers, that she embarrasses her fans, that co-workers distance themselves after working with her. Honestly, I can't take that seriously. Not because I know the truth, but because the tone itself reveals the intention. They're not trying to understand, they're trying to destroy. That kind of discourse needs to invent an evil Demet to justify the rage of people who can't accept that real life doesn't obey their expectations. And the worst part is that they present it as defending Can. But in reality, they use Can as a weapon to attack her. To me, that says a lot about the toxicity of certain fandoms, not about who Demet is. What I see in Demet, looking at all this from the outside, is someone who has learned to walk a tightrope, the one that comes with massive fame. She has a bright, approachable image that makes people feel entitled to comment on her private life. And yet, when the noise rises, she doesn't seem to play along. I don't see her feeding rumors to stay relevant. I see her focused on her work, holding her place through concrete projects. That choice feels difficult and brave to me, because today the easiest thing would be to lean into the show. But Demet, at least as I interpret her, prefers to be talked about for what she does, not for who people pair her with. There's also something else I notice. Even in passionate comments, the idea of respect for her professionalism keeps coming up. People call her an inspiring artist, say co-workers always praise her, that she maintains a high level despite her age. Maybe some of it is inflated by emotion, sure, but the pattern is clear. Demet generates admiration beyond the ship. That's key to me. Being loved for a fictional couple is nice, but being respected for your craft is a whole different league. And she seems to be in that league, even if some people struggle to accept it. In short, my view of Demet Özdemir is that she's trapped in a story she didn't fully choose, either the destined love narrative or the publicity lie narrative. I don't buy either as an absolute truth. I stick with what seems fairest, an actress who had huge chemistry with Yaman at a specific moment, and then followed her own path, with ambition, clarity, and resistance to outside pressure. If one day she decides to talk about that bond, great. And if she doesn't, that's fine too. What's non-negotiable for me is this. Demet owes no one a life inside an invented romance, nor should she carry the hatred of people who need someone to blame. Her value is in her work and in her ability to remain herself while everyone else tries to write her script from the outside.